Mr. Speaker. Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, tēnā hoki tātou o te wharene. Engari te mea tuatahi e kara e te minita kei te tautoko nau ngā mihi ngia e koe ki tēnā o ngā hunga I ngaro atu ki te tirohanga kanui e te rāne. E tika ana kia mihi tonu kia rātou, nā reira ko ea, ka hoki mai kia tātou ngā mahuetanga o rātou mā, nā reira tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Mr. Speaker, I stand to, on behalf of the New Zealand First Party, to participate in this debate and to express a number of views that we hold in relation to this proposed legislation. And one of the questions I want to ask is, why has it been so important for the Minister to introduce this piece of legislation, and as the Minister Finlayson said, a fundamental land law reform to be introduced in such haste, given the number of people, our people, who have expressed concerns about the introduction of this bill. And while we might support the intention of this bill, i.e. to ensure the retention of the bill and to develop Māori land. Now, the Minister made reference, or he made the comment, that under this bill, no land will be lost. No further land will be lost. I'd like to ask the Minister, under the present bill, how much land was lost as a result of the present bill? No, you've got to be clear about this. Okay, there was Māori land lost, but was it as a result of the present bill? And if you've got examples as to the reason for that as a consequence of this present bill, then why don't you just amend that part of the bill? But no, you've gone and introduced a new bill, and it is new, given that there are a number of concerns that certainly aren't in the present bill, like tikanga Māori. We make reference to tikanga Māori, but this is one bill that doesn't include tikanga Māori in the interpretation. Now, I wonder why. You know, no, it isn't in there. Well, you tell me what clause. I'll stand corrected if it's there, but I couldn't find it. But anyway, that aside, if that is to be an important element of this bill, the question is, how will that be ruled upon by both the Māori Land Court and the proposed entity that is yet to be established? Because I would suggest to this House, Mr. Speaker, that much of the intention that this present bill has can be done within the gambit of the present Act. I can recall when I worked in the Māori Land Court, and I'm sure there are very few people in this House who can make that claim, we were able to do things like help families deal with their succession, how they wanted their tupuna's land distributed amongst their whānau. So why do we have to introduce a new bill to establish a new entity to do all that? The problem is that over the years, government has not supported the Māori Land Court. They have not given the resources that the Māori Land Court has needed over the years to do the very thing that the Minister is wanting from this bill. And to be excited about a fund of $12.4 million over how many years? Doesn't make much money for development. And in the north, sir, a lot of land is landlocked because of the geography of it, because of the size of those blocks, and more importantly, because of the wish of the owners. They want to retain the land as it is. And I can recall at a time when Māori owners were asked to clear their land of scrub, of manuka, of tea tree. Now, isn't it ironic that today, in this day and age, economics are telling us to grow manuka because honey is such an important commodity wanted by the world. I'm suggesting to the minister that he should pull back this bill like he did with his former colleague's Ture bill, put it on hold, and then go back to our people. Well, I don't know. In the north, and Mr. Davis made comment about the hui that we attended, and quite clearly the people who attended those meetings weren't happy and asked that consideration be given to putting this bill on hold. Yes, I wanted to make reference to that Kaitaia hui. The other hui in the north were all held at night time. You know, so those who worked, and there are very few in the north of my relations who do work, but those who worked were able to attend and to express their opposition to the bill. But the minister went to Kaitaia, and only because the people of the north said that they should have a meeting in Kaitaia, because it wasn't planned originally, the minister turned up, and all our kaumātua turned up as well, because it was held during the day. Too cold at night. All the kaumātua turned up, as well as some young people, and some young people wanted to object. But because under the tikanga, their kaumātua told them to sit down. And now the minister comes away from that hui under the impression that the people in Te Aupōuri, in Murihiku, actually support the bill. And in fact, they don't. And so, Mr. Minister, I would ask you to seriously consider pulling this bill back and having a look at it, because at the end of the day, if you don't have the people with you, then we will be back in this House asking for amendments to the bill. Mr. Speaker, again, I asked the question, why the rush? All of this against the objection of many Māori, particularly in the north. 1993, the 1993 Act, a major piece of legislation affecting Māori and their land. And as the minister said, the Act is not perfect. And so we had amendments to address that issue. But what the minister is saying about this bill, that it's better, not easier. And I would suggest to him that time will show that this bill is not the bill that he envisaged. Quite clearly, the people who know about this bill are those who are operating in that corporate area. But the hohepa and the henis of Māoridom do not know the actual content and the implications that will have on them, and in terms of their ownership of their land, what this bill will have on that. And Mr. Speaker, New Zealand First will not be supporting this bill. Kia ora.
I call